Hello, welcome to 1 billion plus happy live subscribers marathon. Please subscribe, turn on suggestion playlist as we are reading God's words, Messiah's and coming speeches. Turn on suggestion playlist and more about our marathon is below. So let's go with the quotes to empower positive vibe for the day. Let us become leader figures in Asia Pacific era. October 12, 1989, Sheila Hotel, Seoul, Korea. Announcement of the Panda Automotive Industrial City in Huzhou, Guangzhou, China. Dear honorable guests and dignitaries from around the world, please accept my deepest gratitude for coming despite your busy schedules. Before we start the season, a session about our project to build a large-scale industrial city in China, I would like to speak to you about my work, Korea, in a period of great transition. As you all know, the Cold War between the United States and Soviet Union cannot longer continue. Phenomena such as glasnost in Soviet Union and the struggle for democracy in China and reforms in Hungary, Poland, and other Eastern European nations constitute a revolution. These events show that the communist system has reached its limit and that the East-West ideological confrontation is ending. The economic unification of Western Europe, that are the example of the changes that are necessary. How can Korea deal with these changes? What direction does it need to take? Because of its crucial strategic position, Korea has suffered throughout history as an object of empire building by powerful nations. The divisions into North and South has brought Korea to experience the global ideological confrontation within its own borders. The interest of four major powers, the United States, Japan, the Soviet Union, and China, intersect on Korea Peninsula. Such relationships and global problems historically have always directly or indirectly crosses path on the peninsula, and so Korea is a microcosm of the world's problem. Therefore, there is an inseparable relationship between the solution to the world's problems and the solution to Korea problems. Openness and harmony in the world does not solve the problems of the Korean people automatically. I believe that the transformation of the divided Korea into a unified homeland, once it takes place, will have a direct breathing on the realization of world peace. Special devotion for God's ideal of peace. Dear honorable guests, from an early age, I was called by heaven, and in order to realize God's will on earth, I will offer it my life, knowing well that the Korean people are central to the providence of God. I interpreted it differently from others the meaning of the suffering of these people throughout history. I'm certain that transforming a divided Korea in world peace with the sunsetting on the communism system ideology, can we say that the free world is a position to offer a philosophical alternative? How will we resolve the contradictions of Western countries that adhere to freedom and democracy? I have personally experienced the terrible fate of the divided people through the aftermath of the Korea War. I pledged before heaven to devote my life to establish a philosophy that will lay the groundwork for North-South unification, and I pledge to prepare a worldwide foundation for it. For 40 years, I have worked to fulfill these pledges. Can it be easy for us to mobilize the support of the nation around the Korea Peninsula, the United States, Japan, Soviet Union, and China for unification on the foundation of a strong philosophy of freedom and democracy, and thereby achieve peace on the peninsula? Would it not be fortunate if we could come up with a plan that would help Russia and China reconsider what has been their outside support for North Korea? This presentation to announce the establishment of the Panda Automotive is not a simple gathering about the company going into China. The project is not motivated by seeking a profit-based approach, an interest of capital. For 30 years, I have offered special prayers and devotions for the sake of China and the continent of Asia, placing God's ideal of peace at the center. The process begins by opening the doors through positive relationships. While helping China modernize through technical assistance, we have to create a good neighborly relationships. The International Peace Highway and Korea-Japan Tunnel. In 1981, during the 10th International Conference of the Unity of Science, I revealed a plan for an international highway. I have made this plan knowing to leaders of 120 countries. It includes a tunnel designed to run from Japan to Korea and will connect Seoul, Pyongyang, and Beijing. Another branch is to be routed through Moscow and Western Europe, all the way to London. Another will connect the Middle East and Africa. In Japan, 1,500 members of the academic and business communities organized a Tunnel Research Association in 1982. They are conducting political, economic, technological, and geographical research and have already carried out extraordinary excavations. The Chinese government is showing great interest, and it is in the planning stage of 1,000 kilometers straight of highway between Dangpong and its border with North Korea and Beijing. Even in this period when exchange with China has been very difficult, the unification movement has sent numerous people to the People's Republic to help with the modernization. I established the Yangbin Scientific Technology College in Northeast China, and we are sending its scientific equipment worth 500,000 every year. I'm helping organize the exchange of visiting professors and also programs for Chinese students to study abroad. The International Relief Friendship Foundation, which I founded in supporting relief project and sending American coaches to help the development Chinese athletes. Also, we are giving Chinese scholars the opportunity to research unification thought, thereby supporting their efforts to address difficulties using new ideological perspectives. Dear respected and honored guests, China is intransigent in its commitment to communism. When the June 4 Tiananmen Square massacre happened, the free world withheld most of its investments from China. In that situation, I pushed ahead with plans to develop the Chinese automobile industry and advised the person responsible to not water at all, but to push forward even more actively. On June 27, at the site in Kazan, Gambon province, we had a major groundbreaking ceremony. By offering a meaningful benefit to the Chinese leadership, which had fought itself in a discussion position, I established a relationship of heart that served as a foundation to discuss the bigger issues. This all was to support the larger objective of cooperation in the Pacific Rim era, sharing good technology. I have long advocated the equal distribution of technology. Technology is a blessing from God, meant to benefit all human beings. It is a great evil when advancing countries monopolize technology power and thereby put less development countries at a disadvantage. It shows seeds of division and disharmony for that undermine world peace. This is the reason I have for decades invested considerable resources toward the accumulation of technology. It has been to help the world. For example, I acquire for large German companies, that are unsurprised globally and have been developing them. These companies manufacture machines, parts, and tools, including those applications to the production of automotive assembly lines. In addition, I'm continuing to support a state of the art electronics company in Japan to advance digital communications and creatively beyond Germany and Japan. In order another developed countries, I am expanding this foundation of technology for peace. Had I not such a background providing such a capability, I would not have been able to work hand in hand with China today. My investments to build an industrial park for automobile is a modern and simple business venture. It is to educate the highest level of leaders in Beijing and to make a strong partnership with them as we enter Pacific Rim era in Asia. This is ultimately to have a positive impact upon Kim Il-sung in North Korea. I have never thought of this project in China as having any purpose other than our security and saving the nation. In 1976, after the massive festival in Washington, D.C., I proclaimed that I would hold a rally in Moscow with world-class scholars, religious figures, journalists, arts. I am now laying the foundation for this. The Soviet Union should come forward to persuade the Kim Il-sung. At my invitation, one of the top editors of the Novosti news agency, together with five other leading Soviet journalists, are currently in Korea to see this country's development firsthand. To assess the status of the communist economies, I asked them to go to Japan and pass through China and North Korea, where they did not want to go. I asked them to do this so they could provide the North Korea leaders with a fresh impression of South Korea and in that way prevent mass calculation by the Northern regime. A film production team making a 1-hour documentary on Korea accompanied this group. When they go back to the Soviet Union, it will be shown to the whole nation. This coming in November 26, on my invitation, the chairman of the National Broadcasting Company of the Soviet Union, the chairman of Novosti News Agency, and 4 other representing the Soviet media will visit America. At the beginning of this month, the director of the world famous Hero Ballet visited Seoul and promised to assume concretely the directorship of the Universal Ballet Academy, which I founded in Washington, D.C., and to support God's will within the Soviet Union. From October 27 this year, there will be a similar in Moscow, sponsored jointly by the Russian Orthodox Church and the International Religious Foundation on Church Unity. 20 religious scholars will attend the conference. As a counterpiece, we are planning a World Media Association conference in Moscow in supporting, reforming, and opening the Soviet Union. Our creation of the Huizon industrial city in China at this point in time will yield benefits far into future. It is just the first of 4 regions to develop general industrial cities in preparation for the Pacific Rim era. The other 3 regions are China, Dalian, and Dongong region, the region in connected the Soviet Union, Khabarovsk and China Harvard region, and the Vladivostok region in Soviet Union. We plan in that North Korea will benefit from Sinunju and the Dalan-Ado region, and that the Vladivostok region will benefit both the Uji area in North Korea and the Jiangfang area in China. Through this series of activities and enterprises, China and Soviet leadership will improve their understanding of our century and naturally influence North Korea directly and indirectly. By doing this, they can realize the ideal of freedom and democratic unity for which we are hoping. A leadership role in the Asia-Pacific era. Just in the 10th years, we will enter a new century. We have to put the 20th century married by division and confrontation behind us and enter an era of harmony and understanding in which high morals and values are respected. The era of Russian-American dominion is ending and the age of Asia is dawning. Asia-Pacific it begins, as I have suggested, while it is of utmost importance to create the 4 industrial regions in preparation for this era. I am not interested in business or in something that one nation or one organization can accomplish. These enterprises requires the stimulus of a world-level foundation together with the unique contribution of a multinational corporation. I repeat my assertion that I am the only person who can bring the power of new world peace at the realization of love. Even at the sacrifice of the blood, sweat, every field will participate and support this on a national level. I want to see Korea mainstream a leadership position and go forward in the context of this plan. For it does not subsist on the level of the group or the region. I will result in the reunification of North and South Korea and the world peace. Through it, I hope that I will help Korea lead the Pacific Rim era. Considering the important role of Korea Peninsula and Asia as a whole in the establishment of world peace, no world leaders can casually ignore this area anymore. They have to participate in the development of this area. With the consciousness of history, I have advanced these plans for the Pacific Rim. I am preparing the East Asia Summit meeting of these 4 nations of the East and West at the Hanamdon official residence in Seoul. Will establish the mood of peace in the world through the foundation on its aftergrowth. We will see Kim Il-sung take steps and path toward true peace. The new era guiding philosophy believes, dear honored guests from around the world, human differences on the basis of restoring morality and international cooperation, we have to realize the ideal of a global family of love. A new philosophy to lead the new age has appeared in Asia, which has sprouted after all great spiritual cultures of the world throughout its long history. The teaching called Buddhism, which I am advocating and teaching throughout the world, is exactly the new philosophy. The approaching Asia-Pacific era will be a world in which all people's lives are integrated with each other beyond culture and race. In this world, heavenly fortune will take us into an era of harmony. We have no longer view others as enemies, even if only for the sake of sustaining our own existence. By living based on a proper value system and having a firm philosophical foundation with God at the center, the Korean people have to become the leaders of the new age. We need to move beyond narrow interests and with a realistic understanding of international relationship, and by showing the power of people unity, take the leading role in the Asia-Pacific era. I once again thank you, dignitaries from home and abroad, who have come today. I conclude my remarks with my best wishes for God's blessing upon you, families, and everything you do. Thank you. Yeah, so powerful speech for today, and so actual for today's world. Please subscribe to the channel, share this video, and comment your idea, what you think about how to build world peace by 2027. As we read this speech. So have a great blessed day and see you tomorrow with more powerful speech. Bye bye, yours, Nicolae.